Hello, my darling. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, today I wanted to talk to you about boundaries and boundary setting. Where do we even begin, people? Where do we even begin? Okay, let's just say that if you have found this video, there's a very high chance that you were just like me. We are probably so alike because that is how the universe works. It brings people that are similar, likes attracts likes to each other's field. So I'm going to begin with sharing with you what made it really hard for me to learn how to set boundaries. And even now, when I have learned the importance of boundary, what still makes it hard? So let's go from the top. What makes it hard to set boundaries? Back in the day, not too long ago, just a few years ago, not maybe yesterday. um, what makes it hard is that I grew up with my mom telling me that having boundaries meant I was being selfish. I'm not saying this to blame my mother. I'm saying this to share that so many women across many lineages, many cultures, many countries believe that, having boundaries and taking care of ourselves meant that we were selfish. And all of the women that were from those generations, they had to give up themselves. They had to do so much sacrifice and give up themselves for their husband, their family, or for their children. And so that was their belief that helped them to survive. That was the way that helped them to survive. But that isn't the way of surviving anymore. Not in this day and age, no. And if I change my mind in 10 years about this, I will revisit this. But at this moment, what I do know is that I and you, we cannot give up our well being in order to, like, how do I say this? We need to learn how to love ourselves, how to really have healthy boundaries within ourselves in order to have healthy relationships. To me, that is like a non negotiable. To me, that is like absolutely must, because otherwise, if you don't have healthy boundaries, you end up finding yourself in relationships that needed you to be a martyr. Like, I don't even know how to say that word because it sounds so similar to murder, but it basically means that it needed you to be in a savior role, fixing role. You're the rescuer, and you're always at the stake of other people's lifelines. People call you up for help. You're abandoning your own needs and what's important to you to help another person. To me, a lot of it was my mom, and I love her so much. Okay, I'm not making this video because I hate her. I love her. But the boundaries in our relationship from when I was young was they were very blurred, and they taught me to be very enmeshed and very, anxiously attached, and also playing the role of a savior and a rescuer and a fixer in other people's lives. And even though I love my mother, and I'm sure you love your parents, but we need to learn differently. We need to do things differently, even if we love them, right? Because there is a sense of loyalty in our love for our parents and our family. And that sense of loyalty makes it hard to break patterns that you know are not serving you. But this is exactly why you need to break this pattern, because you know it's not serving you, and it's clearly not serving them. They just haven't yet found a way, or they haven't yet come to the conclusion that they needed to change, because they're still maybe operating in survival mode, right? Even if it's dysfunction for them. So, anyways, what I want to bring you back to is your inner truth. What do you know is true and right for you? How do you feel in the relationships, in those relationship dynamics? Do you feel drained? Because if you feel drained, some sort of boundaries were crossed silently, and it went unnoticed in your conscious mind. But your body picked it up, your energetic picked it up, something unconscious picked it up, that you started to feel drained when you hang out or when you spend time with that person. Or maybe you feel angry, or you feel resentment, or you feel upset, or you feel unseen, unheard. Any of those aspects, is a signal that a boundary was crossed or a need was not met or there was a violation that happened in that relationship. So you need to pay attention to those signals, not as a sign that you are doing something wrong or the other person is wrong. It's a sign that somewhere, the boundaries were crossed, a need was not met, and a violation probably occurred. So, your job is to learn how to love yourself, and it means learning where your boundaries lie, learning where your limitations are. I know all these words. Probably you spoke to me a year ago, I would have been like, oh, well, I don't have a limitation. I'm limitless, you know? But no, honey, we all have limitations, and it's actually a good thing. Limitations allow us to live a very healthy and balanced life. I'm not talking about limiting belief, okay? Please don't take it there. I'm talking about limitations when it comes to how many hours you can work in a day, limitations in terms of how much food can you actually consume in one meal, limitations of how much sunlight can you get in a day without sunburn. All of those are windows of, you can call it window of tolerance, but let's say window of balance, right? What is that operating window of balance for you where you don't become a self-destructing living organism? You know what I mean? Like there's a social battery, right? Like let's say you go out, you have a specific amount of social battery, and that's personal to you. Some people have more, some people have less. It all depends on your personality, priorities, your values at that stage of life, you know, all different sorts of things, your environment, the people that you hang out with. But, anyways, limitations are there to serve you, they're not there to make you some sort of limited person. No, it doesn't make you a limited person. They're meant to serve you. So, anyway, learn where your boundaries and your limitations are, because those really, really help you, and to draw where the lines are, and also to know when a violation has occurred without you knowing, whether it's conscious or unconscious. Growing up with my mom, a lot of the violations and boundaries were crossed, and because I was a kid, like we all were, I didn't know, right? Of course, as a kid, you just absorbed it and you unconsciously learn all of it. But now, as an adult, I observe it, right? So when I see that somebody has crossed a boundary, have violated me in some way, even if they don't say it, even if they don't do it, oh my God, I just like shook my camera. Even if they don't say it or do it, or logically on paper everything should be good, but my body is telling me something is no, or my emotions or some sort of energetic thing that's telling me, you know, something is off. Oh, honey, I listen to that. Like, listen to those cues, listen to those signals, because your body is so intelligent. It knows when something feels off. You can notice it right away, and it's almost immediate to you. And you probably walk out of that situation thinking to yourself, I don't know, I didn't feel that good, or I don't know about that. I'm not feeling like super hyped up, or I'm like slightly drained, or, you know, your body gives you cues. But most of the time, your patterns will try to interrupt that and steer you back to your conditioning. Your pattern might say, oh, well, maybe it's nothing, right? Bypassing the situation. Maybe your pattern might say, well, I should be doing XYZ. And then it brings you back to the conditioning that you were conditioned with. So listen to your body and honor the answer, because that will be your biggest fact and truth teller. After spending time with somebody, whether it's online or in person, or after doing an activity or whatever it is, being in an environment or engaging with a situation, just notice, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about it? Is it fulfilling? Does it bring you joy, a sense of awe in life, a sense of inspiration? Or does it bring you anger, sadness, resentment, um, some sort of anger is actually a big, big, big telltale signs, you know? when you start to feel that sort of irritation, frustration, or even doubt or confusion or anger, those are such good telltale signs that something somewhere was off and it needed you to look closer and realign. So I wanted to make this video to basically tell you that you need to listen to your body and listen to the cues and the signals that it tells you, and learn your boundaries and learn where your limitations are, because those are going to 100% serve you, my dear. I know, because I was this person, okay? I'm not speaking from this higher ground, I know better. No, I was a boundary mess, okay? Like, seriously. I oh I don't even know what to tell you. I was a boundary mess. My parents did not teach me boundaries. My parents taught me to not have boundaries, okay? And I had to learn this in such a hard way. And sometimes setting a boundary is so hard because you feel like you're the bad one. You feel like you're the villain, okay? And especially if you're setting boundaries with family, people that know you since you were little, and they raised you. They're like, well, you're an ungrateful little brat, or, you're so ungrateful, you don't, you're unloving. They can have all the things that they can say, and they don't understand the fact that you are actually the evolution of them. You're not a bad person. You have simply evolved from where they are, and it's a good thing. It means that you are the lineage healer. You heal yourself, you heal this pattern, you're breaking the pattern. Of course, they're not gonna like it. Your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, your whatever, they're not gonna like it because it's breaking the pattern, it's breaking what they knew was survival, it's breaking their sense of safety. They're not going to like it, but you're going to do it. And you're going to do it knowing that you are doing it for yourself, and you're also doing greater good for your family. Because yes, you are the evolution of your family. And so with strangers, though, with strangers, people that are more like, let's say, friends or within your network, or people that you know, your peers, coworkers, people that have a bit more of a distance, not as much as close as family, setting boundaries can still be hard, right? All of the shadows will come up. If you hold a shadow that people are going to think I'm selfish, people will literally mirror that back to you, okay? If you have a shadow thinking, okay, if I set boundaries, people are going to think I'm selfish, that's going to come back to you, not as a way of punishing you, but as a way of showing you where you need to strengthen up your sense of truth, safety, and self-love. So you might set a boundary and people will reflect that truth and say, oh, you're being so selfish. That's a universal test. What are you going to do? Are you going to submit to that false truth? Or are you going to come back to yourself and say, no, this is a moment where I stand in my truth. I'm not a selfish person. I'm taking care of myself. And I love you, but I'm not taking that statement. I return that back to you. And most of the times you will realize that people are speaking from their own projection. They're not saying you're selfish because you are. They're saying you're selfish because that's how they perceive you. And they perceive you through the lens of their own beliefs, what they feel, what they think is safe and not safe, danger and safety, or what's right and what's wrong. And it's not entirely about you. So, all right, I feel like I really delivered those points, and I'm like, yeah. Man, I feel I can speak on this forever. Let's see what else comes up. You just need to know yourself. You just need to know yourself. Stand in your truth, learn to stand in your ground, and know that your boundaries do not make you a bad person. Your boundaries do not make you an unloving or unworthy or selfish person. Your boundaries help you to create healthy relationships in your life, within yourself and outside of you. And you're modeling to other people what a healthy relationship look like. And it's gonna take time for them to learn that, but that's okay. You don't have to bend backwards to fit into someone else's mold of what love or relationship or interaction should look like. You can stand in your truth, stand in your ground, know your boundaries, know who you are, work within yourself, rewire those relationship patterns and cues and signals, and listen and be aware and be the change that you want to see in your life. So thank you, my dear, for watching this video. I'm so grateful that I get to share and make this video for you. So honestly, if you've liked it, give it a like, give me a comment, tell me what you enjoyed, what did you like. I want to connect with you. And if not, that's okay too. If you just want to take this in and keep it and walk with it for this week, it's all good. I'm just appreciative that I get this chance to speak with you and connect with you and be here with you. So thank you for being here from the bottom of my heart. I hope to see you again. Bye.